sure that we get started on it. That when we get started on it, because I would think there were going to be some discussions about it. And if you haven't,
I clicked the record button. It's going now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I just clicked it. You want me to not click it? I can.
No. It's good. It's good. It's good. It is excellent. Yeah, Casa Casey. Now we are blessed. Okay. Well, I made up, just so you know, and if somebody can help me, I'm gonna do. You asked me about the little. Can somebody check to make sure this link is working for me? Make sure that link is working.
I'll click on it.
Bring up that form.
Yes, it does. What is the time zone based on UTC? And it has circadians by time zone. Select the time zone you live in. Click continue. So it's there.
Well, what that form is, and we'll go over it a couple of times during this. And anytime we, get off target or off track, then that form is to begin to start figuring out where everybody's at in time zones. Is that if you're going to have a 24? Let's talk about what this is. Is that today we had a blab that was. We'll see you, Nazim. Make sure you fill out the form so we know your time zone, which is 24 hours. We've already decided you're going to be here for 24 hours. So you might as well not even think about sleeping. But what this is about is in the Blab this morning, we were discussing things about, like co-host, that when you leave the way that it's set up now, I've made Ron a co-host. You can see the H up there. And that our Blab that we have in the morning is 25 minutes. And then we have about 5 minutes of talking and discussion, which usually runs into about 10 minutes. But this one this morning was, it was like a 3-hour tour. It was actually not 3, but it was about 2 hours and 40 something minutes, I think. And about when it was about time to leave, one of the people in the Blab suggested that we talk about that we consider keeping the Blab open and giving it up to another one of the co-hosts, and that way you could keep, a Blab open for an extended period of time. And as a matter of fact, he's got, I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, I need to turn that off. Anyway, so we began talking about, this 24-hour concept, which was something that I thought about. I had approached and talked to some people on Google Plus, and I talked to people on Facebook about it over the years, about maybe doing things like in the United States, you could have like a July 4th where, I'm doing, ribs over here. It's 12 hours. So you'd have to have like a 12-hour show or a 12-hour hangout on air or a 12-hour Blab, about the 4th of July. And then as I began creating and having friends in the UK, it's obvious that they celebrate the 4th of July too, for a completely different reason. So, so we began talking about why not have, as it went around the globe, that we could have some other people that would do that. And Christmas was one of them. Thanksgiving was one of them. Obviously, New Year's Eve is one of them. There's so many different events that this could support. And so that's what happened this morning. Is we said, well, why don't we do and start talking about that? And Christmas, for an event like this, Christmas is like, it's pretty close. And because you're going to have to get coordinated with people in different areas. And fortunately, I had created a form a little while back that we put the link over there to, that has the time zones on it already. So if you go to that form, you can fill out the time zone that you're in, and then we'll begin to kind of sort that out as to who wants to do a host. But the concept is real easy. Is that it's Christmas in whatever time zone that you're in, and that you'd be the host for 25 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever time that, you could be the host, you would be the host. Now we don't, I think one of the things that we need to make clear of too, is that we're not talking about just Blab. We're talking about having this on the other platforms, a Twitter or even Snapchat. That would be pretty awesome to have all these things shared into this pool of all these kids opening up gifts, and that we could find people in other areas, in other towns and cities, and in our own towns and cities that might need to have gifts, so we could take up, some funds and buy some gifts. Now one of the things that y'all don't know is that for years, I did a thing called Christmas for Kids. And what I did was people would donate their computers and I'd fix their computers. And then I would give them away at Christmas. The teachers at the schools would tell me which kids, needed computers. And so it was, became a pretty popular deal here. I mean, pretty big deal. I wound up the last year that we gave them away. The first year, I think I did 3. The next year was like 10. And then we started hitting 20. And then the last year, I think we gave away about, I think it was 80 computers at Christmas to kids that didn't have any. And there was nothing that was, I mean, it was really satisfying to be involved in that. And so what we wound up doing was turning that over to the Board of Education and a couple of the other agencies here. And I don't know whether they still do it or not, but yeah, 80 was a big number. We had, but I didn't do that by myself. That was churches got involved. People would come over to the office. I had an office over on Margie Drive, Nick, and people would come over to Margie Drive and they would help. We would have entire 24-hour nights getting computers ready. These guys would clean it off. You can get a license from Microsoft, can give you a license for those kind of things for about, I think it was $4 then. So we could get a license so that they would have a licensed operating system. So this is kind of that outreach of that concept, that it doesn't have to be on Blab. It would be great to have 24 hours of Blab, but it would be also just as great to have 24 hours in Twitter and 24 hours in Facebook and Google Plus and LinkedIn. I think there might be some pictures that you could put up there, but so that's the idea. Does anybody have anything? Somebody want to take that open seat and discuss this? What they think the next step is?
Oh, come on, people. Don't be shy.
Michelle will. She's trying, man. She's trying. It's like the Matrix. She's trying to get through there. Come through the portal.
She's close. She's right on the edge.
Okay,
there.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Much better. I didn't think I was going to be able to make this. I was on this morning with Stan, and I think Roy was there, and when this whole thing came up, and I think it's a fantastic idea. And I am not a speaker. I work with Facebook and that kind of stuff. So my strong point is not being a speaker or a host, although I do want to host my own show that revolves around dementia. Okay. But I wanted to let you guys know that I was a CFO for 20 years for a nonprofit. I've started a nonprofit already with this new group, and I'm not afraid to do back office work. I don't have to be front and center. So I wanted to just let you guys know that if you need some help with some work, I am available.
Well, I think that the administrative process and the things that's going to have to be done on the back end is where most of this is going to lie. There's going to be a lot of that is getting it organized as who's supposed to be on there, so that we can, make sure that that they're there and figure out, because it would be easy to get, it would be easy to get 100 people in Eastern Standard Time here, but that doesn't do any good for somebody in, say, China.
In my Facebook group, we have about 12 admins, and what we do is we have an administrator in the UK, we have an administrator in Canada, we have an administrator from Australia. So we're covered 24/7, that there is an admin on, because we're on every continent.
Yes.
At all times. So at all times, we're 24/7, someone is there to monitor the site. And that, someone from the East Coast, someone from the West Coast, someone from Central Time, always someone available. So when we're doing things or schedule something or have an event, we take all that into consideration, and we put the right people there to administer at the right times.
How long has that group been over there?
2011.
Mm-hmm. And are there people in that group that would want to help with this? Is that group primarily about dementia?
All dementia. They're caregivers and patients and advocates. All together. 12,000 of them.
You got a 12,000 member group?
Yeah. And that's with turnover. That's like with all the turnover. A lot of times someone loses a loved one they don't want to be in anymore. They can't handle it. They leave, Mm-hmm. Or some come in and they're not there for the right reasons. They go. Mm-hmm. And we keep on topic there. So if anybody wants to play music, we made a sister site, and we'll add you to the music site. Put all the music you want on. You want to have a fun day? We have a fun page. We have a grieving page. But when you come to the main page, it's on topic always. So when someone comes in at their lowest on a bad day with dementia, they don't see some cartoon up there.
So you're a 501c?
Yes, we got a 501c.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were. If I would have,
I did the 1020. I was part of doing the 1023, but I was a CFO for a nonprofit for. We went from 5 million to 45 million in my 19 years there.
Which one? Can you tell us which one it was?
It was North Hudson Community Action Corporation, and that's in New Jersey. And then we were a small community action agency. And then we had a small family planning and a small health clinic, very small. It was a small part of us. And then we applied for federally qualified health center, and we boomed. We have there's about 15 health centers underneath that umbrella. Plus there's homeless services, job services, immigration services, you name it, they offer it. The health area runs from pediatrics, women's health, mental health, dental, and it's for all the underserved. Nobody is sent away.
All right, so I'm going to do an action list of that. And since you got the experience in that, I don't think we're interested. I don't think we'll do a 501c anytime soon. If I known exactly how hard they were, because we became 501c, we're doing the Christmas computers, right? Had I known how difficult it was going to become to get that status, I would have probably kept that status. But I would say the task list that we got right now is find hosts for each time zone, and get a good description. We're going to need a good, like an image, to represent what we're going to do, and we're going to need get a good description. We're going to have a set time, because that's what's going to happen, is that when you do these kind of things, you can expect the more regular that you do the event, the more response you're going to get off of it. And so the set time on that, what would you guys I would like to see some.
One of the things you want to find out is what kind of 501c are you having? Because, like, as a Chamber of Commerce, we were the C4, C6, which is not.
I was a 501c3.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to
things
have.
you want to look at.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to look at it right now. I think we're going to look at that.
I think it's way premature.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think that's a good route, a good time away. But what we're going to want to do is get a good description, and then we're going to want to set a regular time for this. What do you think would be a good regular time? Let's start with Ron.
As far as getting together,
yeah, should be once a week.
I think, yeah, I think once a week would be a good time to, should be enough.
What day?
For me, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. Wednesday is really.
Wednesday's bad for me if I'm going to be a part of this.
Wednesday's kind of bad for me.
What about you, Shelley? And those in the boxes.
Circadian. Oh.
Yeah. Is those who are in the images, the profiles up top, what do we call them? What do they call that? I keep wanting to call them film strips, but we know that comes from the old days of Google Plus. So that's not actually the old days. I take that back. What do you call do you call it the film strip up top with the profile? What do you call that?
I never called it anything. I don't.
I'm gonna just keep calling the film strip. Then those in the film strip, put the time down there for you too. That would be a good one. Cyberspace, okay. Attendees, okay. Now we're getting the thing. We asked a question. See, this is what you call a call to action, right? That's a call to action. So, what would be the best day for you? Anybody over there? Just kind of put your days down here. We need to set a day and time. And we're going to need to set that would be also for me, include a length. And the last thing would be, because you don't want to go over four things. I think we need to set some sort of organization, call to action on a collective direction. Set a day and time. We need to organizational document, like what do they call that? A manifesto.
I don't want it. They might not do days though. I'm on live. I'm online.
All right, so anytime but Wednesday and Friday. Anytime but Thursday. Okay, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are done. So it's has to be.
How about Tuesdays?
Monday, Tuesday, or you said any weekday? Is that what you said, Ron?
Wednesday's the day is not good for me.
Anytime but Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah.
So how about on a Saturday afternoon? Does anybody want to do weekends? I don't know that I can commit to although when you
weekends, things pop up for people. So I think that with family events and stuff. So I think that, yeah, I'm available a lot of Saturdays, but a lot of Saturdays, who knows, the grandkids are coming or parties, or they're always on Saturdays. So that's me personally. I don't know about everybody else.
What about Tuesday then? Ron?
Tuesday works.
Tuesday's fine with me.
Okay. So let's do
Tuesday afternoon would work for me. I'm Central Time.
So the day is going to be Tuesday. And what time?
I am available. I'm available early afternoon or night.
I think 5 p.m. Once I set this and once I started looking at this, 5 p.m. you got a lot of people that are leaving for work or leaving work, because that's between 4 and 6. Mm-hmm. So you can have a lot of people that's going to be on the road. You got a lot of people that's not going to be available. So I think we probably either need to do it at noon, or we could do. It's 24/7, so that's a really tough question.
Well, I'm home, so working doesn't affect me. Mm-hmm. But there are people that have day jobs. Mm-hmm. So would an evening session work better, or? Just throwing it out there.
We have evening session. What time zone are you in?
Eastern Standard.
Okay, so you're talking about like 8?
Yeah, 7:30, 8. This way, everybody's home from work. Everybody had their dinner. Everybody's done.
All right. So I'm going to do.
So that's just a suggestion, because for me, I'm home all day. So it wouldn't matter if it was 8 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon, or 8 at night. I'm good.
We can't do.
I'm just thinking of the other people out there. I don't know what their schedules are.
I have 9, 10, 11 every day. I'm done. I can't do anything. And then now we've got 4. And well, actually, I've got 9, 10, 11, 2,
and 4.
And we maybe.
So it's like you have a day job there, home, right?
Well, I've been doing this for a long time, and so I'm really trying to get. I'm trying to get more organized. I'm trying to get more organized, not necessarily more organized, but more focused. It's like, this is what I'm going to be doing, because that's one of the things about Blab. It can just take you away from the stuff that you're going to do, right? But 8 p.m., see, this is the kind of a project I don't think people are going to be doing it for us. We're Eastern Standard Time. So I don't think that doing it at 8 p.m., I think that's okay, because that's outside of their work arena where we're at. At 8 p.m. in California, though, that's going to be 5 p.m. So I don't actually know if 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. is even better. I don't know.
Yeah, 9 gives them at least 6 o'clock to get dinner done or get home from work.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking, Ron? Is that too late for you?
No, 9 would probably be the latest I'd want to do it, but 9 would be fine.
All right, so I'm going to leave here 8 p.m., 9 p.m. I'm going to leave a 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. so that we can discuss that again and think about it, because we're trying to make this up as we go. And then the length, I don't think we need to go over, I think 25 minutes works pretty good. We like 25-minute stuff. That means you get in and you go like, yes, this is the deal. This is what we're talking about. This is great.
Well, then we need a schedule and topics.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. We need an agenda. And that's why one of the things that I have down here, the 5th thing is an organizational document and a manifesto that says this is what we're going to do. This is why we're doing this. And then an organizational document that says, an agenda. Especially in other countries, yeah. Yeah, the whole thing about it is it's 24. I know that we're going to get outside of that time frame, but that's why if you have the organizational document they call them manifestos, white papers, mission statements, should be really short and to the point. That this is what we want to do. Then we can do that. On record and off record agendas. That's a good question too. That is. I think that any agenda that we have should be discussed like quite up front. Dennis just joined. What we're really talking about is what we're talking about here is doing a Blab, a 24-hour Blab, and we're actually talking about other social media, networks too. On Christmas Day, we think it would be really great to bring the world together. On a day that, as a general rule, everybody's pretty happy that day. And if we could just get some pictures of some kids opening up for 24 hours, if we could just watch nothing but happiness, maybe the next day will be better. Just maybe.
I got 3 grandbabies.
Yep.
And they usually open the gifts in my home. And it's the best 2 hours of the morning of the day.
Yes. Yep. It is. It's just great. We had 4 kids and they're no longer with us, but it was always, I think the best pictures when they took the wrapping paper tubes and turned them into swords to battle while the, go-kart sat there. Well, not the go-kart. The go-kart, by the time they got the go-kart, they were out the door and on the street or in the backyard. We had 3 acres at that
Our
time.
son kissed him and got down on his knees and kissed a Nintendo T.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so but just telling Christmas stories is just so much fun too. You know, just some of the Christmas
Just
gifts
lighten
that
the
you
mood
got.
up. It just made everybody happy, you know.
Yeah.
Happy hour.
Yeah, and we Christmas it would just be fun, and so I'm going to make sure that I grab this Ernesto, and I am going to follow you, and he's got an interesting bio too. Huh. If you feel like joining, you can just hit that little button and come on in. And I know Nick doesn't know he's not done that yet. Nick's actually in my hometown, and he goes to the school that I graduated from. Only, like my shoes are older than him. Best I can figure. He would be good, lots of help on telling us where we could reach some of the younger
Stan,
crowd.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are we going to meet on Skype, or how are we going to do the meetings?
Well, I think what we'll do is probably broadcast them in more than one way. There's going to be, as it begins to get, an organizational document is going to say this is the person that likes this idea on Skype, and they're going to get their group together, and they're going to help participate, and they're going to tell us when they're available and things like that. Because remember,
I mean these 7 to 10 o'clock ones here.
They're going to be here. I may broadcast them on YouTube or something like that, or broadcast them on Facebook as well. But they just, unless they're
going to do them live on on Blab.
Yeah, because that's the easiest thing for them to participate. If you get into something else, those people that are going to be on the other social networks need to know how to use them, right? And Blab is easy to be able to do. If you take somebody into doing Hangouts and all that kind of stuff, it gets tough. This one is, we've got that 25 minutes, and it takes us about 14.
I'm still waiting for your 25-minute Blabus, no Blabus interruptus on hosting. When is that happening?
Coming.
It's coming. I promise I'll make a commitment and tell you that will be, today is
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. So I will make you a promise that we will do that no later than Monday. I may actually start doing that on Monday. Or Ron may start doing that. It may be a 10 o'clock thing on how to use Blab, and then a 4 o'clock thing on how to host, Ron. I mean, we're free to do whatever we want. We don't want to get our schedules.
Yeah.
We want to get our schedules so wrapped up and wrapped around the axle, as I call it, that we got too much to do. So that might be a good idea for the 4 o'clock thing, and then we just start doing that, because that's what we want to be known for. Is to get that stuff out of the way. GSD. Yes, that's our hashtag GSD, getting stuff done. Although some people use a different word for the S. But it does have an S in it. But it's a shorter word. But I think that's kind of it for today. I think that just getting an organizational document is going to help. If you want to hit me up, do you have Google Apps, Michelle?
No.
What do you use?
I'm on Google Plus.
You're on Google Plus?
I could get at Google Apps. I mean, I could.
Well, you have Gmail, right?
I have Gmail. I have a Google account, and I got all my apps in there. Is that what you mean?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So I'll share a document with you, and then we'll start that organizational thing, right? It's a document that's called the Stand Plan. And it's the stand plan. And I had to ask everybody in the Circadians if that was too egotistical when I started it, because I've been using it for a while, but it only occurred to me when I started working with these guys is that it means that it's simple, it's trackable, it's achievable, and that it's necessary. That's it. And and the rest of it, you just kind of draw out a vision, and then that's where people know that you're going to go. So you let them fill in the blanks, fill in the spots. So I'll get a plan started over there to, like, okay, what do we want to actually, put down into on paper that says this is what we're about, because it's much easier when somebody says that, as you know. Somebody says, well, what are y'all going to do? Well, we're going to have a 24-hour Blab on Christmas and show people, or 24 hours around the world on Christmas, and we're going to show people through social media all of these smiling kids in the world, and that we should not be mad at each other. Because every time I see I guess people mad at each other just is. I get mad. I'm not saying that I don't get mad, but sometimes I see some things and I'm like, what are you mad about? I mean, this is the greatest time ever. We've never been able to do this, ever, right? Not like this. So what could you possibly be mad about?
My mother-in-law used to say, it just doesn't matter. If I got mad about something, she said, it just doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. A screen presence design recommendation. I wonder what he's talking about. Does anybody know what Michael's talking about?
If you wanted screen presence.
Yeah. I know John. I don't know Arncom. I don't know him, Rancom. I know TechStud. And I know, like I say, John, that's human too. That's John Prioto or something like that. But if that's it, this is 5:30, so that's 30 minutes, and we like to get stuff done and get. If there would have been a bunch of people showed up here tonight, that would have been great and wonderful. And I'm sure that as we do this on our weekly basis, and we start talking to people about it, and we just start inserting it in the little places that we do that we're doing this, and that we know what that elevator talk is, that 10-second thing that says we're going to show happy people all around the world on December 25th. You want to be one of them? That makes it a whole lot easier to get those conversations started. That's what I think. Hey, who knew Stan is not the Grinch? You haven't talked to my kids.
Stan's the man.
Look, Stan made it. We had a Christmas. We had $4 and 4 kids, and around December, probably 6th, we had $4. And we knew there wasn't going to be any more money until January. We knew it for a fact, and that we were going into Christmas. And it was probably one of the best Christmases we ever had, really. It was just unbelievably good. Just because we did stuff together. You know, we made things, and when we were talking a while ago about the smiles and stuff like that, I remember that my oldest son got a Snickers bar from his sister. That was the Christmas gift, was a Snickers bar. And you would have thought she gave him, because there wasn't a whole lot of candy that year. A presence design. I'm going to have to get more into with Michael about that. I don't want to do those things anymore, but so maybe we can talk to them about doing that. Anything else, Ron? Anybody else got anything they want to talk about?
No.
So, there comes Nina. Nina's got something she wants to say from Bulgaria.
Happy Christmas.
Yes, happy Christmas.
You want
Merry
to hear
Christmas,
something
Nina.
interesting from
Yes.
Behind the Iron Curtain?
Yes.
We had 2 celebrations because the church was separated from the government, and the government did not want to hear about Christmas. So we celebrated New Year, and we had the presents on New Year. And then when the democracy broke, that's a joke we tell, that the democratic revolution.
The democratic, yeah. So when do y'all do the presents now? Do you still do them on New Year's, or when do you do?
Because some of us had Christmas, but all of us had New Year, like children, and we couldn't immediately understand what's happening, because all our childhood we got the presents on New Year, and it was Ded Moroz, it was the Russian Santa Claus. It was all messed up.
Yeah.
So we had two times presents then. In my family, when I got married, we had Christmas, like everybody, like all the world, and then we had another Christmas on New Year. So it was fun, and until we decided that's enough, we cannot have all that.
My father's family was from Russia.
Yeah, good.
And he didn't know what Christmas was until he married my mother.
Hmm.
and that was Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. He didn't know about it, and he loved it. It's his favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice to meet you, Michelle.
We're gonna hear stories from everywhere.
We've been in the same rooms, but we haven't had a chance to chat.
We didn't meet because I only have 30 seconds all the time. But
well, actually, Nina can take all the time she wants.
Yeah, she can. No. She can take whatever she needs.
I'm training in my real life. It's good to me, and I think I can. When I'm advanced on Blab, I will do that training. It's good for silence, because if you talk all the time in real life, people stop listening to you. So it's my challenge to be more, to use the right words and listen and keep in silence, and good for me. That I'm here for 30 seconds. You see, I already talked 5 minutes.
Okay. I am looking across the top here. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. I've been sitting in this chair way too much today. Everybody knows I like them 25-minute things. Now I can leave this open if y'all want to continue to talk. But
I'm done. I think dinner's on the table.
I got in.
So it will be closed, and then you will open tomorrow? Or?
Yeah, we'll be back on the regular schedule tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and then we'll have I will get a message to you guys about it'll be Tuesday at somewhere between 7 and 10 p.m. and we'll just discuss that between that. Eileen, how can you leave when Eileen comes in?
Yeah, because I want to share it on my Bulgarian community on Facebook. If someone wants to talk about Christmas, it would be interesting.
We're doing great, Eileen.
Yeah, you're on Facebook, Nina?
Yeah, because generations have different memories from that time. It's for me one.
I'll look you up.
Yeah, for the younger people, it's different.
You want to who wants to bring Eileen up to date with what we're talking about?
I was just going to tell her, Eileen, we're planning on having a 24-hour Blab on Christmas Day from all over the world. You just got in. Stan's going to have some information.
I'm going to make place for her.
Okay.
Stan is wearing me out. There she is.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Are you up for a 24-hour Blab on Christmas Day from all over the world?
Yeah. I mean, I guess there will be some people that will be like, no, I don't have time for Blab on Christmas.
Well,
but then there's others that'll be like, I'm on here every other day. What the heck is Christmas? You know?
they don't have to be on for 24 hours. They can.
I understand. I understand. I just saying, I know how, because people travel.
Yeah.
You travel. You're not on your own computer. But I think it'll be a wonderful. I mean, I heard. Actually, I was poking in and out when you guys were saying having kids open up gifts. This was earlier in your earlier
one.
Blab.
Yes.
And I think that it will be, it can be nothing but positive vibes there, So
well, I have created a form that you can go to and say, this is the time zone that I'm in. And it's got all the time zones in the world, all the way around.
I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to make my camera wider. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw your camera get wider, and the echo. There was an echo, but it's gone now too.
Yeah, I know.
That was me copying the link on my iPad.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
I think that part was me. Isn't that weird how things happen in coincidence?
It is. It is. So Christmas, but it can be. The idea is this, and it's not going to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be Blab, although Blab is going to be the central point, because this would not happen without this particular media.
That's true.
Yeah, it wouldn't, because you can't express this and talk to people about this through the other media. It's just a little bit too hard. So the idea is to be able to say, watching kids and just, you might be a host. We want to get a list of hosts who's going to take over at 2 o'clock Eastern 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Who's going to be in that box? It's going to be, handling it and helping everybody along the lines and saying, well, come on in and show us your kid, because we think that if you can show all the happiness and everything for just one day, that maybe, people will get, that will just be a better world and a happier place. I do a thing right now. I'm not really told I've told a couple of people this, but I do a thing where I walk up to somebody every day that is different than me. And I walk up to them and I say, we don't all hate each other. And it's just, you'd be surprised by what happens, because it could be somebody that's just in a terrible mood. It can be somebody that's just that they're sitting there. And when you say that to somebody coming out of the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're walking up to them and they're like, who is this? Who is this? And you go there and say, we don't all hate each other. It's just, so that's kind of what this is about. It's like it's this thing to say, look, we can, a post planner.
Yay!
Is that a new app?
It's not new. It's been out since 2011.
I have not.
It's a good app.
I think the word that threw me off. I know what a post is, but the planner thing is probably what threw me off.
Scheduling tool. Yes.
Yeah. But that's it, Eileen. Is that we want that link over there is to go over there and say, this is the time zone that I'm in, and there are. I didn't know how many time zones you think there are.
Oh God, 30 some?
I think it's 43 is actually how many it was. When I first started, I thought I'll just whip these 24 time zones out, right? And it's like,
I know it's weird that there's more than 24, because you figure there's 24 hours, but it doesn't work like that somehow. And then some people don't even do the daylight savings time thing. Mm-hmm. That's right. Huh? How do you not? And I'm talking in the U.S., because we're the only ones that have daylight savings time. So there's actually states that don't have it. And I'm like, okay, that would really confuse me if I lived. I think Indiana, it's like, and it's weird because it's like half of the state does.
That's right.
Another half doesn't. And I'm like, I'm glad you guys know what you're doing, because I don't.
Now, do you know what he's talking about? Appear.in? Is that
That's for the private. That's for when people ask about private things. That's what you send them. Appear.in. You can have 8 people. In fact, I was going to do a video on it, but
yeah, that was weird. What was that?
What was what? Appear.in?
Yeah.
That is a room where you can have a private conversation with up to 8 people.
Yes. I remember looking at this now. I remember looking at it, and I did not do it. So, but I don't know that we want to be private.
But sometimes people ask about private labs, or let's just say you wanted to coordinate something that was like offline, before you got on, instead of Hangouts, because we're all from the Hangout world. So we would just say, okay, let's just do a private Hangout, which is just like really a FaceTime or a video call, which is probably what they call them now, because, they want to change the name just to keep you confused all the time. But anyway, Appear.in, you actually can claim your room. So like, for example, mine is appearin.com. Appear.in/Eileen. And that's my permanent room. So whenever I want to, talk to somebody, because a couple of times we had little gossipy things going on here. And I met with a couple blabbers, and I was like, yeah, did you hear about so-and-so?
Yeah.
Can't kiss and tell, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear you. I can see the use in it. And I remember when, I think it was Centrino, I think she was having one with a collaboration thing, and she was talking about using that prior to going into the Blab. It's like you said, it's kind of like a pre-meet kind of thing that she did.
It's almost like the green room that you can do on Google Plus.
I went over and looked at it and just it was like, I have enough to do. I cannot keep up with it.
It's not a platform that you have to manage. It's just a place that you can go when you need to have a chat. That's all. There's nothing to do with social or connecting with people and all that. It's just like, we need to talk about this. Hey, meet me in this room. And they have to download the extension on Chrome, and it works on your phone.
See, that's the thing about Eileen. She just rocks everything.
I actually was putting together. I was actually putting together a Blab FAQ, and that was the very first frequently asked questions. Everybody, can we do private Blabs? And I was like, I don't know how Brittany, God bless her. This was before we had the other community manager girl, whose name I can't recall right now. But I was like, she's a saint. She sits there as the same question over and over again. No, we're not going to do private Blabs. And I'm like, I want to wring people's necks. No private Blabs. Tired of y'all asking that dumb question. So I started on the Peer.N tutorial, and then I just got distracted. I was like, I got other interesting things. And you don't really need a tutorial. You just need to set up, claim your room if you want. If you don't have to even claim your URL if you don't want to. You just go in there and you get a link and you give the people that you want to talk to that link. But I figured, why not just claim my room? Like, why, for somebody else goes in there trying to claim my name, I just claim mine. And
yeah. That's actually, I spent a lot of time as this thing has grown, not Blab, but just as social media has grown and domains and everything like that. I spent a lot of time with my clients keeping that done so that they would have their Google Plus, local, or they would have their Facebook page. They would have, customized URL or personalized URL. But so anyway, that's so you're gonna be there for like 30 minutes or an hour. We're gonna be able to count on you.
On Christmas, I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't have any Christmas plan. I honestly don't really celebrate Christmas.
That's okay.
Not because of religious reasons, but it might be controversial, so I don't want to talk about it. And I don't have small children, so there's no gift opening.
Yeah, but you like to watch small children, right?
My daughter's 32. And so I did it when she was young, when she was growing up and all that, but she's grown now and she's happy she don't really have to shop for me. Yeah. It's more about a financial thing for me. So that's the bottom line. But I think it's wonderful. I mean, when I was coming up, I loved it. And if I had little ones, I would definitely do the whole decorating thing and all that, but I don't do any of that. I haven't brought Christmas decorations in 20 years.
Okay. Since we're talking about this, I got a question for you then, because this is the first time we talked about it, right? So is there anything, what about New Year's?
New Year's would be fine. I mean,
because you're right. Do what now?
All I do is watch the ball. I don't go anywhere. I used to party. I don't do that stuff no more.
Well, because this is new enough into it where you could actually, think about New Year's. This is the first time that we've talked about it, and I'm sure everybody here is open to all sorts of suggestions. I would like to see it, I would like to see more than just one, maybe one a month, where it was like a very large.
Okay, now I have to ask a question. I don't want to be
Halloween's coming out. Trick-or-treating would be awesome.
I don't want to play devil's advocate, but I do have to ask this question. Mm-hmm. Why do people want to have a long Blab? Like, is it just because we can?
No, that's not it for me.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's not it for me. I know what you're talking about, though, because I've seen people, 32 hours on Blab, and I'm like, yay, I sleep sometimes.
Right.
But this was just to have show Christmas around the world, to show the joy and the love that can be there, and that the next day there's no reason why it can't continue.
Okay. Now that I can get into.
That's what it's about.
And all the time zones are different. People have different schedules.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's about, is to be able to and see you. The only reason that it was 24 hours is because then it does fit into everybody's schedule at some point during the day, and that you could go back and look at it and go, there's somebody in Botswana, if there's such a place, or something, someplace you never. I was doing it. I was like, Liechtenstein. I would like to see somebody from. I'd like to see somebody from Liechtenstein. Because you hear you see that in movies in the U.S. all the time. It's like that word. So
the ones I can't figure out are Papua New Guinea. Where in the world is Papua New Guinea?
Right.
Any blabbers from Papua New Guinea, please tell me where you are on the globe.
Wouldn't it be great to find somebody there though to go?
Yes.
Hey, this is or Fiji. You know, that would be really good to see somebody from Fiji or just. But that's what it's about. It's not about. It's
We've
not
got
about
people
the
in
fact it's
Africa
24
on
hours.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, we got a guy in Belize
Africa.
now, so that's one start. So
Yeah. Okay.
It's not about that. It's about having. It's about having. You know, being able to really truly say, you know, what I get a kick out of all the time is that, you know, we're global. Well, then why aren't you talking to this guy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, you know, because he's got squiggly writing and I don't know what he says. Well, that's why they make Google Translate. You know, cut and paste it in there and look at it.
Yes, Nina, we know Bulgaria. And there's a young lady whose name escapes me right now, but she's from Armenia. And she said, you know, that people in her, because she's a podcaster, and she said they don't subscribe to podcasts. People in her country don't know. I said, well, you're representing the whole country then.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I don't know how to tell. Well, and I know you know how to tell her this, is that it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because the communication, the ability to be able to do that is if you can't look at it from the standpoint of, like, for me at least, I don't think you can look at it from the standpoint of like this thing where you're trying to communicate with the world. But what about let's say you're on, what's the name of that thing? Genealogy.com. And there's a link there that says, hey, that's my relative in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And you hit that little link and it sends them a message that says, and they go, yeah, I'm available right now. And all of a sudden you're talking, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I see about that stuff.
I have cousins that I didn't know about in Italy, the socios. They all friended me. They were all about my daughter's age.
Oh, wow.
And they knew my husband's uncle. They knew that there was an electrician in the family.
Okay. That's interesting. Yep.
And they all reached out. So whole group of cousins.
I know I got relatives around, you know, in different places, but when your name's Smith, it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of hard because my dad was an only kid, but and when his father passed, I was a teenager, so I wasn't into thinking about, you know, well, who are grandpa's brothers and sisters? I never asked, you know. So my dad's gone now, so I don't have anybody to ask. My mom's gone. I don't have anybody to ask. Everybody's going on my dad's side, as far as I know, but I know there's got to be more Smiths out there. Come on now.
That was a question. If I don't know, I don't know how to pronounce that correctly. It's Ms. Benjamin
Boomy. That's Boomy.
I don't know Boomy. Boomy's welcome to come in, but we're talking about Christmas, but basically we've also moved it to New Year's because this is the first time that we've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Boo me! I wouldn't want to boo you. I would but that's what we're talking about is a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wouldn't even. We could actually create our own day, social media, everybody meet day or something. You know, make something up. We call it whatever.
And you know, honestly, my thing, like with Christmas, has nothing to do with religion, but there's so many people that don't celebrate Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Well, my relatives in Maine don't, and it is a religious thing for them.
And
right?
I wouldn't want people to feel left out. Like, I'm not going to Christmas. You know, some people are not even Christians.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, you got to wait. I mean, I do love the idea of if we could like have children in each one of the events, opening gifts or whatever. But, you know, there are restrictions. You're supposed to be 14 to be on here anyway. So, then you got that crowd.
Yeah,
because they've had those blabs about how do we stop kids from being on Blab, and it's like, oh, geez.
I know sometimes I hear that stuff.
You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the parents, but but still, technically, I think the age is 14. But like, who's checking people's ages? Like we all know there's one kid who's on here all the time who's 14, but we don't really know he's 14. I don't know.
Not really.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, sometimes it just gets too deep and too complicated. So
well, our group on Facebook is 18 or over, and we check profiles, and if there any inclination that they are not 18, they do not get in.
So what you could do, Stan, just think about this. You could do it on Christmas, but just not call it Christmas. You could just call it the International 24-Hour Blab or whatever. Make up whatever name you want to call it.
Fab Blab of Joy or something.
Yeah, no, right. The Blab of peace and joy, and for 24 hours around the world. Whatever you want to call it, but just maybe not use the word Christmas. Because if it's on Christmas, everybody knows it's about Christmas, but it doesn't offend the people who don't want to, who don't acknowledge Christmas.
See, that's exactly, Boomy is exactly, she's describing exactly what we're talking about too, is that allow you to sing live, show Christmas decor live, share, opening some gifts. That's exactly what we were talking about, is that if you could see that 24 hours around the world, because it would be interesting to see, the gift part is interesting because you get to see somebody open up a gift in Egypt, or anywhere else, and may not, again, Kris Kringle, whoever it is that would be bringing it. But you're right in that when you call it Christmas, you're going to definitely rule some people who are just absolutely not going to participate in it just because of that. And
you could even say it's a holiday celebration, and then people can't say, "Well, it's not Christmas. It's just a holiday. It's a Blab holiday." Now what?
So would you?
Open it up for everybody. Then everybody. It doesn't exclude anybody.
Right. And then if people want to show their Christmas cards or their Christmas tree or their Christmas decorations, it's okay because it's the Blab holiday, and maybe
or if they want to show their Hanukkah stuff,
I can show my non-decorations. I don't have any.
Yeah, I did a thing. I think 2 years ago that was called "Show Me Your Tree," and that was really interesting. I had like people showing trees that were submerged in water. They were in water.
Right.
300. They were in water.
Like way big. That's another thing you could have. You could suggest that to some of the people that volunteer to be hosts. Maybe like, because if Boomy wants to be involved with it, because I know she's an entertainer, maybe she could bring the song piece, and somebody else could do the "Show Me Your Tree" piece, and I think it's a wonderful idea, and I think it'll be fun. So
I see. Now here's the positive thing I heard from you. I think it will be fun.
Yes.
So that means that you're in if we can get all.
I'm in to watch. I don't know that I want to commit because I don't know what I'm going to be doing that day.
I know.
And I want to say, and then, I can't do it because it's just too far ahead out. For me.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this now, so that we can start looking at it and getting, so that we know at 1 a.m. that there's going to be 15 people come through there, right? Because it's from 1 to 2 or whatever, is that you're going to have people come through. That it's not all relying on Eileen. It's not all relying on Michelle or Boomy or Stan or anything. That it's just very natural that somebody that we just go through it. That's
Stories are more interesting than gifts, Nina.
I have been thinking about that.
Good night. Okay. It's Christmas time here. Good night, Nina.
Yeah.
Blab International Holiday Season Celebration. Okay.
See, everybody's mind's thinking about this.
Yes. Brainstorming. Yes. I love that.
And you never know if Team Blab has something in the midst of a plan. That's very true, too.
I know they're doing something on Halloween. See, now,
I do know that.
That's a holiday I really don't like, and I can speak about why I don't like that one. But
yeah, all day joy day.
Nice feelings. I'm just not a holiday person. Put it that way.
It depends on the holiday.
Except for my birthday.
Kids. I love seeing the kids in their costumes.
Holiday, my birthday, January 30th. No, I'm just kidding.
I like Valentine's. Valentine's.
Yeah, candy.
Yeah, and when we were, well, I used to like Grandmother's Day and Grandfather's Day, Grandparents' Day. I used to love those a lot because I had a store, a gift shop. You know, I don't know if you knew that or not, but when you came into the store, this is the way people used to come to the shop. This is why I want to do that brick and mortar rescue kind of a thing. I've got that kind of going on too, but is that people come into the shop and they'd say, we're just here to watch, because you would come in there and I'd say, hey, Eileen, you know, you getting your grandmother anything? And you'd go, what? I'd say, well, this weekend's grandmother, don't worry about it, just because she never missed your birthday or graduation or Christmas gift. No need to spend $12 on her. No, go ahead.
All right, Stan, Eileen, everybody, I've got to get going. I got my hour in here, but I skip out on you guys.
It was nice blabbing with you. This is my first time.
It was very nice blabbing with you.
We make sure we're connected.
Yes.
Okay.
And Eileen, I do want to talk to you about some other stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere yet.
Yeah. All right. I'll catch you guys later.
You take care.
Stan, you'll get in touch with me through my email or.
Yes, I've got my list over here. Find host for each zone. Find a good image to represent. Good description. The Tuesday at 7, sometime between 7 and 10, and an organizational document. And I get stuff done. I promise you.
Okay. For all those who have to go, bye-bye. Because a couple other people said they had to go too.
Y'all take care.
Okay, take care, everybody. Have a good evening.
Later. All right.
Well, I think it's been productive just to get to that point, because that is something that I had thought about. I thought, you know, doing it with Christmas, I know my relatives in Maine would not at all participate in it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's one thing to say from a personal standpoint, I'm okay with that. You know, where our kids, we've been doing this for years, and so I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. But it's a completely different thing when you're ruling out a whole. That's like a family relationship thing. But when you're talking about this, you're talking about more of a global, you know, aspect of it. It's more of a global thing. So I wouldn't want to rule people out on that. I can come up with a logo, an original 30-second audio clip for branding that you can use on online video promotions. Let me know when you all put it together, and I am on.
Oh, that is so sweet, Umi. Yes. Oh, Stan is taking notes on these.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm definitely putting that on the follow.
That's so sweet of you.
She's got just like, her smile is just, I just want to leave that up there for a minute.
Yeah.
She's got a great smile.
Yeah, it's very energetic. You can feel the positive vibes coming from her. So, Yep. And her suggestions are, by the way, I will have my setup to get on video on Blab. Oh, yeah, you're welcome, dear. Yep. All right, my dear Stan. So you said there was something else you wanted to?
Yeah, but that's more of a private thing.
Oh, okay.
That's more of a private thing. I just want to check something out with you. You know, I just want to, you know, I like some confirmation every now and then.
Okay. So now you did Circadians just once today. This was something. This was like
this was different. Actually, show. Yeah, this was different. We do the 10 o'clock. We're set there. We're going to do 10 o'clock every morning.
Eastern 10 o'clock. Is that?
Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, it is Eastern. Okay.
And then we do the 4 o'clock. We were going to do one at 4 o'clock. And so we did one at 10 Eastern Standard Time and one at 4 Eastern Standard Time, which is a 25 minutes with no interruptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we may switch that to 25 minutes of, you know, in the morning of how to use it. And then we may add one in the evening that's 25 minutes on how to do a simple host. Like I've got this thing now that I'm calling beta, co-host beta or something like that. Okay. Like if you get in there for a week, then you know how to do one. You know, that just gives somebody an opportunity to get in and go, you know, here's how we doing this. But it's all the same way we do everything. We do it just because we're trying to help people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like everybody's like you. I was telling somebody today, you know, and that's what I called you that time. Like, do you have any? If you've got some programs and stuff, we want to make sure that people know that they can go get that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, that's kind of the plan. It's kind of a co-host thing that if you want to get in and kind of learn a little bit about co-hosting, if you want to learn a deeper dive, there are other people to do that.
Okay, gotcha.
Not us.
Mm-hmm.
A streaming voice. You know everybody.
That's Tony. Well, Tony was here before me. Tony's one of the original OG blabbers from Meerkat. Tony's the guy who has the voice like Barry White.
Does he? I think I saw him the other day then.
He can't sing. No, well, he doesn't sing. Well, he does sing a little. But he would play music on his Blab. Well, like, remember I said he started on Meerkat. And before Blab, before those social media people came over to Blab, Blabs were a little bit even more laid back. And you could just come on the Blab and listen to Tony play music.
Really?
And he would be playing some Barry White or some Al Green, maybe. And you would just sit there and listen. And that was
yes.
Yeah, well, we had fun.
Well, I have a question for you. Do you?
Sheila was Manny Cammon.
Sheila's Manny Cammon. She was.
Oh yeah, Sheila.
Yeah.
Know yourself. We don't want to see the Manny Cam logo. Oh, was that a mistake? Oh, she's turning it off, probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of times when people first start up with it, they have a couple of things until they get it figured out. So, do you think that? Yes or no? Do you think that there's going to be a time to go back to that where there's not so much? So if you want the social media, it's going to be some noise in there, but the other things like Tony playing his music is going to be there.
Oh, that can still go on. It can still go on now. I mean, some people just want to have as many people in the room as they can get. And then some people are more laid back and just don't care. It's like, I used to do the Blab Rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it maybe 3 times, and a couple times nobody showed up. But for me, Blab Rehab was totally different than the way the other young lady, I think is Sandra Centino, does hers is a program. Mine was me being so addicted to Blab, but needing to get work done. I would start up the Blab, but I would not talk or interact with people I wouldn't let it. I'd close all the seats, and I would talk out loud about what I was doing, like I was editing a blog post and making images for the blog post, and I would talk out what I was doing so that it could be somewhat helpful for somebody who doesn't know anything about blogging. But I could not open that seat until I finished my task.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me sitting up here knowing that I needed to write a blog post, and I'm sitting up here blabbing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was Blab Rehab for me back then, but it wasn't that many people here. So people didn't mind. They just come on and like listen to me ramble. They would pop in and pop out, and that was fine. But now it's like if I did that, nobody would come for sure. And I could do that without being on here, I guess.
I don't think nobody would come for sure. I think that because you are who you are, I think people would show up just to kind of check out who they are. Just kind of, and we closed the seat. We wound up. You would have been proud of me if you see the one that we had at 4:00. You would have gone, yeah, because I've noticed that you do the same thing. But somebody comes in and they start some stuff. You kind of like, well, I'm not in here. Yeah. I don't know where you're going, but you can't stay here.
My watch is great, but I can not stop it from coming on auto. Obviously, don't know what I am doing. Yeah, Sheila, I hate Manny Can today. Have no idea what happened. Just saying hi. Okay. Hi, honey.
Yeah.
Snellville 2 years ago. I'm sorry. Because you guys were talking about Georgia. Okay. Yeah,
she's talking about Georgia. She said Snellville, and there used to be a joke that was I don't use my language is usually very, very clean, but there was a joke that said, where the hell is Snellville? That was the big line in the joke. But no, and Sheila, if you want to do that tomorrow morning in the clinic, that'd be fine too. I take a look and see if we can figure out what's going on with that.
I wanted to tell you real quick. So Sean did 2 of them last week. I don't know if he did it this week. Sean VP did the same thing, and I said, "No, this is the Blab Rehab that I used to do." But he was playing music. God, I played a little music one time, yeah. And he plays music, but he does talk to the people in chat. But he'll be working. So it may be a little while when he's not interacting at all. And that's just all you're doing is just watching him with his head down, actually using a pencil.
Yeah.
And writing, and and then maybe he'll ask, what do you guys want to hear next? Or whatever. And then he said, I know I always tell people not to blab alone. And I don't like when other people do this. So I think he might have put himself on punishment from doing it, because he was getting addicted to it. It was like 2 days in a row. I'm like, here you are again, Sean. But it was fun because we liked listening to his music, seeing what his taste was. And he interacted a little, but he wasn't doing any blab questions or anything like that. He was talking about the music he was playing or stuff like that, just general life, weather, or whatever.
Yeah, that I did I'm going to go back to it. I was actually planning on doing it the whole week, and I may go back to it in the morning. But like Monday, I had made this decision. I was going to do a couple of things, right? And I did like a 4-minute Periscope, because I did Periscopes, first. And I said, I'm going to get back to doing a couple of Periscopes. I'll try that out because I got to make a statement. I got to do a couple of things. And the other thing was on when I came into the 10 o'clock thing, we always start at 10, instead of 10 Eastern Standard Time, we always start at 9:55, right? We get in before. It's not a green room. It's not closed off, but you can at least go, is this thing on? Hello, and that kind of thing.
Right.
And, but I got there at 10 o'clock because I decided that I was going to play guitar for about 5 minutes before. And so just because, you got to break through them fears, and it was like, I used to do that. You probably didn't know this, but I used to do that in a bar. I used to have a show all week long. Mm-hmm. That's why when there was the guy today that I was talking about that I kicked out, he came in and said a joke, right? He typed in a joke that was a little inappropriate. Let's put it that way. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like something so awful, but I just told him, I said, okay, so like that, this is what we use the trash can for, right? And so that's a new thing over here. As a host, I'm going to trash this because he thinks he's funny, but he's really not.
He was being a little offensive.
Yeah. And he said, maybe you just don't have a sense of humor. And I'm like, no, you're gone now, man.
Right? Okay, maybe I don't, but this is my room. So
well,
hasta la vista.
If you don't think I have a sense of humor, you ain't been around long. I'm like, there's two people I think of when I think about people who are always laughing, and you're one of them. Another person I think of is me. It's like somebody goes, they say something bad, and you go, oh, well, it's okay. Everything. It's like I think it was Steve Martin said that the reason he learned how to play. Do you know why he learned how to play banjo?
No.
Think of a sad song on the banjo. You can't play,
right.
the blues on the banjo.
Okay.
It's like death and strife. It's not. He had a whole little bit about it. He was really funny.
Even no matter what. I got you.
Yep. So I think I'm getting about ready to get off, and I've got you down now, and I've got
with a question mark.
I've got you down as a question mark. Like, yes, she would participate. She's probably going to say, I would participate whenever I could during that day. I'd like to know that it's going on. I'd like to know what's happening, and I help you get people and things like that and talk about it.
Yeah.
But that's really it's not because we're trying to have a 24-hour Blab. Mm-hmm. It's because we want at the end of it that people go, that was stuff. Nobody's ever done that. Yeah. It wasn't about the 24 hours. It was about, wait a minute, they just showed this place in New Zealand. I would love to be there. And they just showed this place. Then right after that, they were in Cape Town, and right after that, they were here. And it was just really, really a fun experience, so that people know. And I know that I'm keeping talking, but one thing I have noticed is that we are all alike. Mm-hmm. When you look at in the rooms of the people, and they have their stuff in the background instead of this green thing, you go, that they have exactly the same thing we have.
Now you saw that name that Boomy has, right? Blab's International Holiday Season Celebration.
Yes.
You wrote that down. Okay. I
Yes.
like that. I like
Yes.
It's a great start. I mean, you know, I think it's perfect, but you may want to refine it or add to it or whatever, but I think it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Do it, plan it, get a co-host, chat room, greeter, and monitor. Leave 2 windows open for guests. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And plan it for around the world. I think that's the approach. Instead of saying around the clock, we're going to just start saying around the world. See how productive this has been?
Uh-huh. Yep.
I still got your phone number, so I'm going to call you in just a couple of minutes. Can I do that?
Oh, sure, you can.
It's
I
going
was
to just
having problems with my phone earlier, but I think it's okay now.
it's going to just be a quick confirmation call.
Okie dokie.
All right. Listen, everybody, y'all take care. Thanks for thanks for shopping.
You still got that salesman mentality, I tell you. Okay, bye.
We'll see y'all.